Hi, my name's Nick Lloyd and I do Spanish Civil War tours in Barcelona, and at the moment I'm doing a series of videos talking about different stories connected with the Civil War. This is the third one, and today I want to talk about aid sent by British society to the Republic at a time when the British government, the British state, was doing everything it can not to support the Republic, and it's often been described as being belligerently neutral and effectively on the side of Franco without saying so, refusing the Republic the right to buy arms on the open market, etc., and looking the other way when Hitler and Mussolini were sending in their aid as part of what was the so-called non-intervention committee, non-intervention agreement, which I think it was Himmler renamed jokingly the Intervention Committee, the committee which allows us to intervene in Spain. But of course not everybody by any means, in fact the majority of the British population was against this non-intervention in Spain, the not allowing the Republic to buy weapons, and there was a huge aid effort in working class Britain. The estimate is, Paul Preston, who's the biggest expert on the Spanish Civil War, quotes around £2 million were collected in cash and food donations, which I checked this online is equivalent to about £130 million today. One of the largest charitable collections in British history, at a time, of course, during the Great Depression, when we were just coming out of the Great Depression, when most people just didn't have anything. They didn't have any cash, they didn't have any available money, and there was all sorts of things. I mean, for example, this is a couple of documents to illustrate this. So this is from the Left Book Club, raising money for the food ship for Spain. The Left Book Club, of course, which was a leftist publisher, which famously rejected. It did publish Orwell's Road to Wigan Pier, but rejected Homage to Catalunya because of communist influence in the publisher. But anyway, that's aside. But I also and most of this donation was in the form of very small donations from individuals. This is another item, which I'm going to get out now, another original from the Yorkshire Joint Committee for Spanish Relief, with the Republican colours there. That's a Spanish concert under the patronage, it says, of the Archbishop of York. So of course, although most of the aid was from the parties of the left, the Labour Party, the Communist Party, and above all the trade unions, there was also liberal Christian groups involved in this, and the Quakers actually. This is February 1938. Which just lost the Battle of Teruel, and it's a concert program. I think it's got the flamenco, jotas, the dances of Aragon, and there's two singers here. Is Isabelita Alonso, signed by her, and at the back it talks about the plight of children in the Republic, and specifically it talks about the Basque children, and it says there are thousands of Basque children in this country who cannot be repatriated until their parents or relations have been traced. Who were these Basque children? Well, Franco's forces launched this attack on what remained of the Basque country in April 1937, famously with the destruction of the Basque town of Guernica by the Nazis, principally on the 26th of April 1937, and more children were orphans or they'd lost their homes, and so the Basque government did everything it could to try and get them out. The British government didn't want to take them in. Tory ministers claimed it would contravene the conditions of the non-intervention committee to allow Basque children and women to enter Britain. But finally, because of pressure from a Basque from pressure from an association in Britain to help Basque children, the British government finally relented, taking in the children, none of the adults, which of course sounds familiar with Kindertransporten. The ship Havana arrived on the 23rd of May 1937 with approximately 4,000 children and a small number of teachers and priests, which is a bit curious, of course, because we think of Republican Spain as being anti-clerical, which it was. The one exception was the Basque Country, where the church was never repressed because it was more or less pro-Republican. And of course, the Basque Country was perhaps more conservative than other parts of Spain at the time. And they bring in, they allow approximately 4,000 Basque children to come. As you can see here, now we're going to have a look at a newsreel of them arriving.
Behind these happy pictures of the Spanish refugee children arriving at Southampton aboard the liner Havana lies the grim tragedy of nearly a year of civil war. Still echoing in their ears is the devastating roar of guns, the crash of their homes and churches falling about them, the screams of a people facing death. They come from the Basque provinces along the Bay of Biscay. For 8 months, the hardy Basque mountaineers have been defending their capital of Bilbao. They were shelled from the mountains, bombed from the air, until at last the Basque president appealed to the world to save our women and children. For our men we ask nothing. This camp near Southampton is Britain's answer to that appeal. Here the 4,000 children are brought. Here they are medically examined, and each has an identification mark fixed to the wrist. Those who are ill after the long sea voyage are taken to Southampton Hospital, where 3 wards have been prepared for their reception. The camp is being run almost entirely by voluntary workers, helped by gifts from every corner of Britain. A baker is sending 50 loaves of bread each week, and the employees of the Southampton Corporation washhouses are working over the weekends to do the camp laundry free. These children have been snatched from a living horror. Worse thought, they may never see their mothers and fathers again.
By the end of the year, most of the children have returned. Some of them ended up living on the street, or their parents were in prison and they ended up in Catholic orphanages with awful stories. By the end of 1948, there was only a few hundred left in Britain. And they stayed behind and formed an association of Basque children, which is still actually active today. And recently, they've put up plaques here and there. This is a plaque put up in Southampton, as you can see, to the arrival of the Basque children there. So anyway, that's that story. Thank you very much, and thanks for listening. And hopefully, soon I'll be doing another one. Bye.